Ooh. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Indigo, and today I will be actually doing something informative for once in my life, and that is how I get my skin to look decent with makeup. As you can see, my skin is not perfect at all. If you guys saw my last video where I painted my face white, I said that paint broke me out. The specific formula breaks me out, and oh well. Today is the next day, and it did break me out, so here we are. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start off with a clean-shaven face. I don't really use a primer, but I do use moisturizer underneath, and I find that works the best for me. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a medium coverage foundation, preferably one with a natural finish, but matte foundations tend to have a natural finish on me just because of like the creams that I use underneath. So I use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation. You have to shake this for it to work, but once you do, you don't need a lot. Now the most important thing for this to look like real skin is to literally start off with just like the smallest little amount in the places that do need coverage and make it go as far as it possibly can. The goal here isn't to get it to actually erase all of your imperfections or blemishes, it's to just kind of subside them and to even out your skin tone. So don't worry if you can see a little bit of blemishes or anything, we'll fix that in a second. If you don't have anything to cover in a certain spot, don't cover it and just use whatever is left over on the sponge in that area just to kind of make everything look like it's in unison. After we're done with that, the next thing you want to do is conceal. However, this is the trickiest part because if you do this a little bit overboard, that's when you get that really cakey, I'm wearing makeup look, which is not what we're going for. I would go with like a sheer coverage concealer and just build that up. But I only have Tarte Shape Tape, which is a very, very pigmented concealer, but you can definitely work with it if you use it very, very lightly. We're talking about like that much, and then you just blend it in. I have no idea how some people can use so much of this concealer because you just need the tiniest little amount and it'll cover everything that it needs to cover. And the best thing about using less is that you can always go back in with more if you need to. I like to set my concealer right when I'm done with it just so it doesn't crease. And for that I use the Fenty Beauty setting powder, and you literally don't need much at all. In fact, it shouldn't even show on your skin. I just used a little bit too much. And the best part about using less product in general is that you don't have to go back in and you don't have to sweep up like everything that you have like left off from baking. You don't have to do that, and your products will also last you so much longer. And we're also just gonna do a little bit on the forehead just to kind of accentuate that area, to just pop it out a little more to make it just look a little more pretty. Now if you still have kind of like little pimples every here and there, just kind of conceal those as well. And you would expect like these like things that I'm telling you right now to be like common knowledge, but like we live in an era where we see a whole bunch of influencers just making like these like triangles with this same exact concealer underneath their eyes and just like using so much product, and they look like they have like completely flawless complexions, and we just overuse so much product. Like a full coverage moment is so fun, but it's not necessary. When it comes to natural looks, you never want to completely mattify your face just because skin is never really matte. Skin is always slightly dewy. It never is really truly flat in the way that foundation would be. I'm going to use the Becca bronzer. This is my favorite bronzer. Like I said, with everything else, super light hand. The best way to accentuate your features without giving away too much is to bronze the part underneath your jaw like that. So it kind of cuts your jawline, but you don't really see it, if that makes sense. And we also want to bronze kind of like the cheek area underneath. We're just going to create like this little swoop. And we're also going to do the temples. I don't even know if that's actually what this is called, but we're also going to do that. So as you can see on some little bumps that I have, the bronzer will start to collect even more on those little pieces. So you don't want to bronze too much because then it'll be very apparent that you're wearing one makeup and the acne that you just hid will be even more apparent. We're also going to add a little bit of bronzer to the brow area just to kind of bring everything together. So as you can see, my skin is starting to look a little bit more like skin again and not as pale. And we're also going to use a little bit of blush, in which I use the Blood Sugar palette Tongue Pop for my cheeks. Very, very light hand. I used to do blush very crazy. Literally all you need to do is just like the tiniest little amount and you just build that up. Everybody's placement of blush is different. However, I find it that for my face, it makes me look a lot more youthful and a lot more glowy when I put it on my apples of my cheeks and on the sides of my nose. So that is what I will be doing. So when I do that, I just kind of like smile. And then I do like a circular motion. I'll also bring it down a little bit to the cupid's bow so it looks a little less harsh. Okay, so this is the most important step. Like I said before, skin has a natural finish. It never is going to be too matte or too dewy. So now that we kind of canceled out a little bit of the shine with the setting powder and also a matte foundation, we're gonna go in with a highlighter. This is the difference between looking like you're wearing highlighter and looking like you have a dewy finish. I use the shade Snack in the eyeshadow palette. I'm very resourceful. When you apply this, have a very, very soft hand. Don't go overboard. I will just use a little dot on my nose, just on the tip of my nose. And then we're gonna go in with like a little brush. Never do a straight line. Always do the line following here all the way down and then stopping right there. And you don't want to use too much because you also don't want to really look like a lighthouse. It's a look, but it's not this look. And the most important thing is to blend it out with a damp beauty sponge because this is really going to change the way that it looks. When you blend it out, it looks more like a glow from within rather than from a highlighter, and it doesn't even look like you're wearing a highlighter at the end. The most important part to highlight that everybody kind of forgets is specifically this high point right here. It just completes everything without adding too much. And then the scariest part in my opinion, which is highlighting the cheekbones. What I like to do is once again, I smile and I just kind of follow that pattern. And I'll also highlight just a little bit of the cheek. Once again, we're going to blend that into the skin. As you can see, that made a huge difference in the appearance of the skin, whereas this is without highlighter. And this is with. I like to use just a little bit of lip gloss. And I'm done. Once you're done with your base, you can essentially do anything that you want. You can do your brows, you can do your eyeshadow. I personally just put on a lip gloss and then the whole thing is tied together and I'm ready for the day. You can knock this look out in about 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. And it's just a very quick and easy way to look presentable. And once again, I want to point out that makeup can definitely hide hyperpigmentation, but it will never ever hide texture. I still have the texture that I started off with. If you guys can see, I still have all the texture that I started off with. That's not going anywhere until my skin gets better, but that is perfectly fine with me. I am confident with who I am, and I absolutely love myself, and I love my skin, and I just love doing makeup just because it makes me feel a little bit better. And that is the same way that you guys should see it as well. And remember that no matter what, you guys are always beautiful on the inside and on the out, whether you have acne or not. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked this tutorial or you guys liked my energy or whatever, please give a like, comment, and subscribe. I will be posting more videos more frequently. Some will be entertaining, some will be educational like this one, some will just be randomness. So yeah, if you guys want to stick around, please subscribe and I will see you guys in the future. Bye-bye.